What's going on, everybody? Today I will be talking about who I think will be champion in each division by the end of 2024 in the UFC, starting with flyweight division. Alexandre Pantoja, great grappling, good striking, levels above everyone else. And now his cardio was a problem. If I'm going to be honest, his cardio was a huge problem. But other than that, I think he's just leagues above everyone else. Now, the big problem with his cardio is we seen in the Moreno fight, and then we seen it in the Brandon Royval fight. He gasses out. It's like a Conor McGregor situation where if he hasn't finished you in the first 2 rounds, he starts to gas out in round 3, 4, and 5. In round 4 and 5, he was really gassed out versus Brandon Royval. But he's got really good striking, really good grappling, and I do believe he's the best contender in that. I think he's the best fighter in that weight class. There are some challenges, some challenging opponents. There's Amir Albazi, there's Brandon Moreno, who did really good in the third fight. He did really good, even though dismay he lost. But I don't want to spend too much time on the flyweight or thinking about it, because I just believe that he will stay champion at the end of 2024. Like I said, I just think he's levels above everyone else. Moving on to bantamweight, Sugar Sean O'Malley. Great striking, good fight IQ, good takedown defense, fast with his footwork and lateral movement. And what makes Sean, in my opinion, a really great bantamweight, not only the takedown defense, but the striking and the fight IQ. You make a mistake against Sean O'Malley, and he's quick with it. We saw what happened when Aljamain Sterling missed the left hand, and Sean countered it with a right cross and knocked him down and finished him. And why I think he will be champion by the end of 2024. It's difficult because I wanted to put either Merab or Corey, but I think Merab's style is going to be just the same as Aljo. I mean, Merab puts on more of a pressure, but Merab is a little chinny. He got dropped by Moraes, and he got hit with some good shots in his previous fights. I think Sean stays champion. Let's see, he gets through, Cheeto, and then he beats Merab. There's people say, well, what about the strikers who could really stand and bang? There's Corey Sandhagen. There's maybe a rematch with Piotr Jan if he can get his rhythm going. There's Song Yadong. I think in the striking department, he's better than Corey Sandhagen. He's not as versatile as a striker, but he sets things up with the kicks and with the teeps and just to get your reaction. I think it'll be a hard fight, but I think it'd be an interesting one. That's a fight I really want to see. But I really do believe Sean O'Malley will stay as champion in the end of 2024. I do believe he will beat Cheeto Marlon Vera, and I do believe he will beat Corey Sandhagen. Merab will be the toughest matchup, but if he gets past Merab and Cheeto, I think he's pretty much going to be staying as champion till the end of 2024. Just a really good fighter. Moving on to featherweight, Ilia Topuria. Great striking, great at fight IQ, great Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, really good wrestling. I think Volkanovski will retire by the end of 2024, either the summer or the fall. I don't think he'll stay as champion in 2025. Once, I know 2024 just started, but once it's January of 2025, I think Alexander Volkanovski will be retired by then, and the 2 contenders for champion is Ilia Topuria and Max Holloway. Now, Max Holloway was a decision I decided not to put on this list for champion for featherweight, because I just think Ilia Topuria is better. He's got better. I think he's got better boxing, in my opinion, way better boxing. He's got good wrestling, amazing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's got 12 submissions in his MMA career, a couple knockouts. He's really good. I just think he's one of those young up and coming fighters that is going to be champion by the end of 2024. I don't think there's really much to say about it, honestly. I'm just skimming through these because there's not really much to say, or maybe I'm just trying not to go into depth, but I'm giving the obvious reasons. I think they'll be champion. I think he's leagues above striking and everyone else in the division other than Max and Volkanovski. I think he beats Arnold Allen. I think he beats Calvin Kattar. He beat Josh Emmett. He beat Bryce Mitchell. I just think he beats everyone on the feet, but he'll have a hard time with Holloway and Volkanovski. But when you look at the contenders at 145 and think, well, who else could be a contender? If you have Ilya as champion, let's say he beats Volkanovski and then he beats Max Holloway, no one else poses a threat. I mean, other than Arnold Allen, that's it. Like, I think he is levels above everyone else. And in my opinion, I do believe he will be champion by at least the summer or fall of 2024. Moving on to lightweight, Islam Makhachev. I think that was a pretty simple one. Good striking, great fight IQ, great grappling. I think what he did with the Charles fights and the Volkanovski fights proves that he is the best lightweight right now in the world. I think the wrestling will be too much of a pace and pressure for Justin Gaethje and Charles Oliveira. Again, I think he will outstrike Justin Gaethje. I think he would probably finish him on the feet. He could finish Charles on the ground, finish Gaethje on the ground. He could finish anyone anywhere. And when it comes to the lightweights, I don't believe anyone is on the level of Islam. I mean, let's say he beats Justin and then Charles, and who else is a fight that's hard for him? Arman Tsarukyan. Charles Oliveira, Arman Tsarukyan, Justin Gaethje, they're all really great fighters, but they're just not on the level of Islam Makhachev, in my opinion. I really believe that the grappling there is not as good as Islam's. It's just not on the same level when you compare them, honestly. So, by the end of 2024, I do believe Islam Makhachev will still be the champion. Now moving on to lightweight. Hang on, my girlfriend's cat's, hang on. Excuse me, y'all. Now moving on to welterweight. Okay. Welterweight. And moving on to welterweight, I have Islam Makhachev as champion by the end of 2024. And it might sound crazy saying Islam will be welterweight champion, but trust me, it's one of those things. This is a crazy prediction. I'm going to predict right now. I predict it by the end of 2024, Islam Makhachev will be the UFC's official fifth double champion. I believe it 100%. I think what happens is, here's the game plan. Islam beats either Charles Oliveira or Justin Gaethje in March or maybe April or May. And then, September, October, in the fall time of this year, he fights maybe Bilal Muhammad or Leon Edwards or Shavkat, whoever's a champion. I think he beats them, in my opinion. I think Leon will stay champion until Islam becomes champion. And what I predict is, Islam Makhachev called out Justin Gaethje for March because he can't do Ramadan on 300 because UFC 300 is during Ramadan. So what I think is Islam beats Justin Gaethje in March. He's going to want a couple months off, April, May, June, July, August. That's like a 5 or 6 month layoff. And I think he's going to fight in like October, November, maybe fight Leon for the welterweight champion, because Leon Edwards is rumored to fight Bilal Muhammad on the UFC 300 card, and I think Leon Edwards will beat Bilal Muhammad, and then they'll have a fight in either October, November, December, and Islam Makhachev will beat Leon Edwards. Moving on to the middleweight division, Sean Strickland. Good boxing, puts on a pressure fight, great cardio, good IQ, takedown defense. Now there's posing some problems. I wanted to put Robert Whittaker, but I just don't think it's and Robert Whittaker's like plan to be champion anymore. And I'm not saying he doesn't want to be champion. I just believe that, whatever you believe in, like God, the universe, or fate, I just believe it's no longer time for Robert Whittaker to become champion, and I just don't think he has the skills to beat the fighters right now. I think Duplessis would beat Robert Whittaker in a rematch. That's just my opinion, and you might call me crazy, but I think we're going to start seeing a rise in surgences of new up-and-coming fighters, and they will start to beat these older fighters, like Sean did with Izzy. I think Sean Strickland beats, Dricus Duplessis by 5-round domination, in my opinion. I want to say complete domination, but I think Sean Strickland is going to beat him up the first 2 rounds and then start to put on the pressure a little more in 3, 4, and 5 and win by 50-45. I think at least maybe realistically 50-48, 50-49, 50-47. One reason I think he will stay champion in this year by the end of 2024, he just outworks everybody. He's more in the gym working on his martial arts. He's just in the gym a lot more. He's really good boxing, great cardio, good takedown defense. I mean, there's a lot of aspects that go into it, but I think Sean Strickland is such an underrated fighter that I really truly believe that he will be champion by the end of 2024. I think he beats Sean. I think he beats Dricus. I think he beats Robert Whittaker. I think he beats Izzy in a rematch, and that's just my opinion. Like, his style is so difficult to deal with because he has the Philly shell in MMA, which is difficult to deal with. You can't straight up box with him, because he has that pressure fighting style. He moves forward with the Philly shell, throwing a jab straight, he hooks and uppercuts. He's not throwing 50,000 kicks like Izzy or Robert Whittaker or like anyone else in the middleweight division who has these good kickboxing styles. And his style particularly is really good against kickboxers. We saw what he did with Izzy. And I just think he will be champion by the end of 2024. Moving on to the light heavyweight, Alex Pereira. Great striking, good takedown defense, the best striker in the light heavyweight division. I think if he stopped Jan's and Yuri's takedowns, he definitely will stop Magomed Ankalaev's, which is the only harder test. I mean, from here, it's easy for Alex to stay as champion because of the competition he's fighting. There's not really great grapplers that are on the up and come up. And then you might say, well, like, there's Hamza and Brendan Allen. I mean, yeah, but they're not in the top 5 or top 3 that will really deserve a title shot. Because here's what I'm thinking, Alex, let's say he fights Jamal Hill on the 300 card. He beats Jamal Hill. He takes like a 5 or 6 month layoff and then fights again in maybe September or October, and maybe beats Magomed Ankalaev. And those are the really 2 biggest threats in the division. I mean, who else is there? Really, who else would there be? What, Hamza? I think he beats Hamza. There's Brendan Allen. I think he beats Brendan Allen. There's Craig Jones, Paul Craig. I meant Paul Craig. I don't know why I said Craig Jones, but Paul Craig. These really good fighters, and I just think that Alex Pereira is levels above them. He doesn't even. Alex doesn't need to learn how to submit. He just needs to learn how to defend takedowns and then pick people apart on the feet. If that's all he can do is defend takedowns and then pick people apart on the feet, he's going to stay as champion at the end of 2024. I truly believe it. And I really, truly predict that once it reaches December of 2024, Alex Pereira will still be champion. Moving on to heavyweight, which is kind of the most obvious answer. John Jones is going to retire by the end of 2024. Either by beating Aspinall and retiring, or losing to Stipe and then retiring. John Jones is going to go out on that shield. I truly believe it. And I think by the time of summer or fall of 2024, I think Aspinall will be the UFC heavyweight champion. He's the most well-rounded heavyweight. Great striking, great Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, good wrestling, heavy puncher, good fight IQ, and he's fast. I mean, I just put fast there just because I felt like it. But when you combine a fighter like him who he can punch, he can kick, he can wrestle, he's got a black belt in jiu-jitsu, he's really good. We saw what he did to, what's his name? Sergey Pavlovich. Really, really good striking. And he's got really good wrestling, really good grappling, really good fight IQ. I think this is the most predictable champion in the heavyweight division. I mean, who else is there? There's John Jones, who's gonna retire. There is, the Cyril Gone, but he's not gonna be champion. His wrestling isn't there. He doesn't have good enough takedown defense to not be champion. He doesn't have good enough takedown defense to be champion. He's not good. Who else is there? There's Sergey Pavlovich. I think there's a chance he could become champion, but not as much as a chance as Tom Aspinall, who's just really well rounded, And that's kind of it for today's video, predicting who I will think will be UFC champion in each weight division by the end of 2024. And y'all have a good night. Spread love, peace, and positivity, and enjoy your nights.